Baghdad was once the center of the known world, yet few remember how powerful it truly was. Its streets were filled with scholars, merchants, and travelers carrying ideas instead of weapons. Wealth flowed through its markets, but knowledge was its greatest treasure. At the heart of this empire stood one man, Harun al-Rashid. He was not just a ruler sitting on a throne. He commanded an empire stretching from North Africa to Central Asia. His name was praised in poetry and feared in rival courts. Many believed his reign marked the peak of human civilization. But this story is not only about greatness. It is about how power invites danger and how brilliance attracts enemies. How did Baghdad become the brightest city on earth? And why did that light not last forever? The answers lie hidden behind palace walls and quiet betrayals. Imagine the city after sunset, when lamps reflected off the Tigris River. Scholars debated philosophy while musicians played in candlelit halls. Books were copied, translated, and protected like sacred relics. No one believed such a city could ever fall. Yet beneath the beauty, tension slowly grew. Every empire believes it is eternal, especially at its peak. Harun al-Rashid believed wisdom and order would protect his world forever. History, however, had already begun writing a different ending. This is not just the story of a king. It is the story of how civilization reached astonishing heights and how fragile that greatness truly was. And it all begins with the rise of a ruler who thought he could control destiny itself. To understand Harun al-Rashid, we must first understand his world. The Abbasid Empire was young but ambitious, having replaced the Umayyads only decades earlier. Its leaders wanted more than conquest. They wanted legitimacy through knowledge, justice, and culture. Baghdad became the symbol of this bold vision. The city itself was a masterpiece of planning and power. Built along the Tigris River, Baghdad connected east and west through trade and diplomacy. Spices from India, silk from China, and silver from Europe passed through its gates. Every traveler carried news, ideas, and secrets. The Abbasids ruled over many peoples and religions. Arabs, Persians, Greeks, Christians, Jews, and Zoroastrians lived within the empire's borders. Governing such diversity required balance, patience, and intelligence. A single mistake could ignite rebellion across thousands of miles. Harun al-Rashid was born into this fragile success. His father, Caliph al-Mahdi, trained him for leadership from an early age. He learned politics, warfare, poetry, and religion side by side. From the beginning, he was taught that power must appear both strong and merciful. Behind the throne stood powerful advisors. The most influential were the Barmakid family, brilliant administrators of Persian origin. They managed finances, diplomacy, and daily governance with remarkable skill. Many believed they were as powerful as the caliph himself. The empire's enemies were watching closely. The Byzantine Empire waited for weakness along the western borders. Internal rivals competed for influence within the palace. Peace existed, but it rested on careful control and constant vigilance. Baghdad stood on the edge of something extraordinary. It had the wealth, the talent, and the ambition to reshape the world. What it needed now was a ruler strong enough to hold it together. That ruler would soon ascend the throne, and everything would change. When Harun al-Rashid became caliph, the empire entered a new phase. He was young, confident, and eager to prove himself. His court quickly became the most magnificent in the world. Foreign envoys were stunned by the wealth and discipline of Baghdad. Harun understood that power required both strength and image. He personally led military campaigns against the Byzantine Empire. These campaigns were not always about territory, but about reputation. Each victory sent a message that the Abbasid state could not be challenged. Inside Baghdad, another kind of battle was unfolding. Scholars, poets, and scientists gathered under royal patronage. Translation projects brought Greek, Persian, and Indian knowledge into Arabic. The city began transforming learning into a form of power. Yet success created dangerous tensions. The Barmakid family grew increasingly influential as the empire expanded. They controlled finances, appointments, and access to the caliph. Many nobles began to wonder who truly ruled the empire. Harun relied on the Barmakids, but he also feared them. Their intelligence and efficiency were unmatched. Their popularity sometimes rivaled his own authority. Trust and suspicion existed side by side within the palace. Beyond the walls, unrest simmered quietly. Provincial governors demanded more autonomy. Tax pressures angered farmers and merchants. Every decision made in Baghdad echoed across distant lands. At the same time, Harun's personal life grew more complicated. He loved poetry, music, and debate, but he also carried the weight of absolute power. Every choice created winners and enemies. The empire appeared stable, but cracks were forming beneath its brilliance. This was the height of the Golden Age, yet also its most fragile moment. Harun stood at the center of a vast and complex machine. He believed he could control it through wisdom and force. He did not yet realize how quickly loyalty could turn into betrayal. At the height of his reign, Harun al-Rashid made a decision that shocked the empire. Without public warning, he turned against the Barmakid family. Overnight, his most trusted advisors were arrested, dismissed, or executed. Baghdad awoke confused and afraid. No official explanation was ever given. Some whispered about jealousy and wounded pride. Others claimed the Barmakids had grown too powerful and independent. The truth remains one of history's great mysteries. The fall of the Barmakids changed everything inside the palace. Administrative efficiency collapsed almost instantly. Officials feared making decisions without powerful protection. Harun had secured his authority, but at a heavy cost. At the same time, a deeper problem emerged. Harun began planning for succession, dividing power between his sons. Al-Amin was named heir in Baghdad, while Al-Mamun was given control in the east. The arrangement looked balanced, but it planted seeds of future conflict. Harun tried to hold the empire together through travel and personal command. He moved constantly between cities, listening to grievances and enforcing order. The strain of ruling such a vast empire began to show. Even a powerful caliph could not be everywhere at once. Then came the moment that changed history quietly. While campaigning in the east, Harun fell seriously ill. Far from Baghdad, surrounded by uncertainty, he sensed his control slipping away. The empire he built now depended on promises that might not hold. When Harun al-Rashid died, the world did not collapse immediately. The palace rituals continued, and the empire appeared calm. But beneath the surface, rivalry and ambition were already moving. The Golden Age had reached its turning point, though few recognized it at the time. After Harun al-Rashid's death, the fragile balance he maintained began to fail. His sons, Al-Amin and Al-Mamun, quickly turned from cooperation to rivalry. The carefully planned succession collapsed into mistrust and ambition. Civil wars soon followed, tearing the empire from within. Baghdad, once a symbol of unity, became a battlefield. Armies loyal to rival caliphs clashed near its walls. Trade slowed, fear spread, and neighborhoods were destroyed. The city survived, but it was permanently changed. Al-Mamun eventually emerged victorious. He restored order and renewed patronage of learning. The House of Wisdom flourished, preserving Harun's intellectual legacy. Yet the empire was no longer as stable or unified as before. Harun's reign revealed both the strength and weakness of centralized power. His personal authority held diverse peoples together. Once that authority vanished, institutions proved fragile. The Golden Age depended too heavily on one man. Still, the achievements of this era were extraordinary. Advances in medicine, mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy reshaped human knowledge. Baghdad became a bridge between ancient wisdom and future civilizations. These accomplishments outlived political decline. The lesson of Harun al-Rashid's reign is complex. Greatness can be built through vision and patronage. But without strong foundations, even brilliance can fade. The Abbasid world learned this truth at a terrible cost. Today, Baghdad exists far from the glory it once knew. Yet the ideas born there still shape the modern world. Algebra, medicine, philosophy, and scientific method all carry echoes of that age. Harun al-Rashid's world never truly disappeared. His story forces us to reflect on power and legacy. Can greatness survive without wise leadership? Can knowledge protect a civilization from collapse? History suggests brilliance alone is not enough. The Golden Age of Baghdad reminds us how high humanity can rise. It also warns how quickly stability can vanish. Empires fall, but ideas endure longer than armies. Harun al-Rashid believed he was building something eternal. In many ways, he succeeded beyond imagination. His city became a beacon for centuries, even after its decline. Few rulers can claim such influence. So when we speak of lost civilizations, we must ask ourselves something deeper. Are we protecting the knowledge we inherit, or repeating old mistakes? The answer may decide our own future. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to subscribe to History Hub for more cinematic stories. Because the past is never truly silent. It is always waiting to be remembered.